Emerging to satisfy our senses. Also, today's considered as opposed to the Buddha, or those who have capacity that desire to satisfy her senses, which I guess is putting the association of faith and Christian transformed into certain type of relationship, like the same attitude. Those who have been lost in the would be doing, that we can transform to the satisfy Christian cross, because it will go to at the top of the exercise and upward experience is the complete transformation, becoming free of the people who make themselves their number one, opening number one, so the and buffer, fire, and constant and the same level of fire. That means the connection. The first step, self-and-self-therapy, another moment is the level of the room. The way to father and the which are over, but still, that you can do it for yourself again. The county is there, but nothing goes from that. If you have golfing, you say golfing, the law, and just form that to connect to the system. But now we just take this. We're looking at the food in this material world, there's nothing to and we're feeling those who are the law, transfer in this number path. Somebody feels, so we hear, we taste, but there's a kind of that's it. And that's that. So the transformation, that's all. And we look around the room, you see that there's the right thing, you see that there's a good that and if the more and more we see that the idea is become a factor to these forms are not of the material world. They are essentially the spirit. That's this is the holy man. That's this is the guilty. That's this is the guilty. Goes back to them. And it's the practice of the goals and fires and the path. Practice of the pictures. It's the philosophy. This way of doing a practice of society. That's the religious. Because you don't attract it. They were attractive nature. Has to be attractive towards Krishna, so towards these lots of civil. Everything has to do overwhelmed. When he takes himself as Krishna, becoming the practice of Krishna. Whatever wrong, you have to do in the practice. So now the holy man, Krishna to do in this particular form. And those are powerful Krishna. These are not only Krishna, but power to study that. And mentality is the form of man. We can establish the name of basic growth. And obviously, suicide, the only place to become a practice to the holy man. And it's not to do. We're going to do that establishment. Every moment, time, that's the status of all. Those close to the other form, they affect the they stop to there, we know the response to do, recognize, we know the response to do, and respect each other, and you know the so we know the response to do, and you feel also there is bonded and effect to your quality, so bonded if they were responsible, and you feel remaining at the magic, not purely faith and investigation, for how you make the best. So it used to be stuff. We do it for himself. If you have to be, the purpose of being magic to build a cycle of life. And unfortunately, the constitution makes the living entity attractive, and it's then the verses that the pure energy also to the entity to experience an unhealthy environment where your anxiety, your foreclosure, your fear of stress, and so many things unwanted emotions. People often particularly very unnatural environment. Some people have this relationship that will address the environment.
You touch us.
And make everything very nice.
Raise the mic up. Yeah. Yeah, click down on it.
There's an unnatural environment that works. Nothing kind there's an unnatural situation. We're trying to make that unnatural. And trying to adjust the world, adjust others around us. And then we work on adjusting our mentality. But it's still based on a false premise. So we belong to in this world. And most of our energy is based upon trying to be comfortable in this world, trying to enjoy in this world, trying to obtain proprietorship in this world, whether it's money or property or this is the problem. It's not the world itself. Nothing wrong with the world. We may be committing fault, but it's not it's the other person who's to blame. There's a fault, but rather it's the mentality that we have. We're thinking we're right. I'm thinking things have to be adjusted to my personal perspective, my personal concept of life. This is the illusion. This is the cause of the problem. And the problem is not that which we perceive as the problem at all. It's how we see it. And until we change how we see it, there is no answer. We just adjust it to this side to that side, one answer to that. The lawyers tend to do this, and to a certain extent, materially speaking, of course, these things have to be taken into account. That's why the Varnashram system is there. To accommodate overwhelming tendencies and to keep us engaged in a beneficial way. Primarily because we're still attached to this world. We're still attached to our bodies, we're attached to the bodies of others, we're attached to what people think of me. We're attached to so many things. We're easily offended, we're easily blamed. These are all symptomatic of illusion. It means we're still in illusion. We're not seeing what's going on, we're not seeing who we are. Nor are we seeing the purpose of being in this, particularly in this movement. The only cure is not just a cure of all the little effects. They're unending, they never end. You may overcome one little problem and another one comes along. It never ends. I don't think it ever ends in this world. It kind of ends in this particular chapter with death, and then another chapter begins. There's
no ending to it all. There is no other solution. It's not a matter of being a good person, going to material standards and going to heaven or something. It's a question of actually rising above, transcending this whole reflective scene that we're looking at. How do we do that? I see it in relationship with Krishna. You have to see. And the trouble is, we're seeing things, you could say, from the mental and physical platform. So when we see, we're seeing with our own imperfect senses, we're almost accepting that our mental state is us. That's me. And this body is me, this subtle body is me. And this is basic problem. Misidentification. We're not the mind. The mind is just like a television which we're watching. Screen, television screen. And we're identifying with it. We think this is, we fight over it. We kill people over it. We kill ourselves over it. We do any damn thing. But this is just as much an illusion as the physical one. That is worse because we don't know anything else beyond that. And it carries us into a future body. We're according to its state. So to transform the mind is the secret. That very much depends upon our physical association. Siddhartha Maharaj said it depends how much we're associating with the material objects or the spiritual objects. How much we're, spending our time chanting and how much we're spending our time chatting about mundane things. How much time we're, remembering or being in a situation which reminds you of Krishna and a situation which reminds you of Maya. And that this is the transformation is largely resting on that. What type of person we associate with and how we associate. Association should not be just to accommodate our material frustrations, but to change them, to free us from them. As we mentioned earlier, there is obviously a stage where there has to be a balance there. We can't just free ourselves like that so easily. So there's accommodation in family life, work in this world, and various things. But ultimately, all this is to be, we have to let go and completely take shelter of Krishna completely in all situations. And the situations we find ourselves in are not by chance. They're obviously with karmic. It's a token reaction, you could say, but it's orchestrated by the Lord with the ultimate intent to help us to realize we do not belong in this world, which is not our home. It's unnatural. We're in the wrong place. You can never enjoy if you're in the wrong atmosphere. We've got it wrong. And until we realize that, there will never be an end to the problems, because we're all seeing ourselves in the center and judging everything around us according to our false perception. And that's why Guru Shastra Sadhu in the Vedic time, the Varnashram system was a gradual, because it was following this principle of God's will. It's God's will. He created this system. So any of us follow, even if they don't believe in God, are unknowingly on the path to surrender. It's actually probably done by the Varnashram. Everyone's a part of the whole. Everyone reaps some kind of benefit. What to speak if one gets the opportunity to associate with the pure devotee of the Lord. And one gets unending benefit. We may not recognize it, we may not even, initially at least, see there's anything there at all, or appreciate it at all. In the long run, it has an eternal benefit on the seer, or the not seer, that is the person who's there. Krishna sees. Krishna is the seer. Where the object of his seeing. So he sees your attitude, he sees our attitude, he sees, what's going on here? What is our relationship? How we relate? And as we gradually relate more favorably, then Krishna reciprocate, and removes these coverings, these illusions around our consciousness. So taking shelter of Madan Mohan Mahini, Radharani, means taking shelter of the internal potency when we chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we take shelter of the internal potency with Radharani, Hare Hare, is how she's appeared in this age, in Kali, in the form of the Mahamantra, Radha and Krishna. We do not make it a point to chant Radhi, 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 and so on. That's like what to say. Sometimes these things go on. We chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Prabhupada did not want us to, go that far. Our business is to chant the Mahamantras. Our acharyas have given us this instruction. We do not in any way feel we can see Radharani separate from Krishna. This has appeared in an accessible way to conditioned souls as a Mahamantra, the name, her name. Of course, it's very good. Sukadeva Goswami does not mention it once in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Not once. He indicates it right here in one arada. One indication or two, that's it. The whole Bhagavatam, although he's the eternal servant of Radharani, he doesn't mention her name at all. So who are we? Who are we? It's different. We're not talking of imitation here, we're talking of following. We're not Lord Chaitanya. We're not bridge buses, whatever, bridge buses. They may or may not, whatever it is, not everything. We're followers of our acharyas. We follow their lines. We're not qualified for that. We're trying to become attracted to Krishna. So we can pray. We do pray when we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. We're praying to Radharani. Please engage me in your service for the pleasure of Krishna. We're praying like this. Here is the personification of the Ladini Shakti, the internal potency of the Lord, the pleasure-giving potency. So we want to also assist her in bringing pleasure to Krishna. She loves to hear Krishna's name. And it's kindly appeared also to give us this opportunity to approach Krishna. And even more so with the Panchatattva mantra in terms of eligibility to approach Krishna. That the Lord, Radha and Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give even us fallen souls this opportunity to take shelter of the holy name, Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And the more we become attracted to chanting, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya and Janananda, the less our attraction will be there for the objects of the senses. In Kali Yuga, this is the only way to get free. Other activities are there, other forms of devotion are there to facilitate it. We worship the deities as best we can, whatever our level of realization is. We try to do everything according to what we've heard from the authorized sources. We try to, rise in the morning. We try to follow regulators. All this is favorable for facilitating the transformation, which is, you could say, even primarily represented by the holy name, attraction to the holy name. It's a safe place to protect us from this tendency to be attracted to the objects of the senses, especially the male or female forms of human beings. Very difficult to, even though we may have comparatively a body which is considered to be not the most beautiful body, obviously somebody is attracted to it. It's the nature of this world. The senses are covered in such a way they say beauty is in the eye of the receiver, the one who's seeing it. Another person doesn't see it, but they have a different set of senses which perceive things different. But we're all wrong. We have to see things from Krishna's point of view, from the spiritual perspective, from the scriptural direction. So when we follow scriptural directions, that's the transformation. How the transformation takes place. If they're authorized, if they're not, if they're pure, the instructions have to be untampered with, not to be changed over the course of time. The Lord's words are infallible. And if one takes shelter of the infallible Lord, then one also becomes infallible. It means one cannot fall down. Infallible, it's not able to fall. So taking shelter of the infallible Lord is the only shelter. He's appeared in this age of Kali, particularly in the Namarupa, the form of the holiness. So take shelter of Kirtan, Japa, Bhagavatam, as much as you can. It's not, you can say it's magic, but it's just common sense. We're associating with the Supreme Lord. This is the medicine to cure us of the disease condition of life. Lord Chaitanya has brought the medicine. This is the medicine. Everything Shirupadiyamanat, Varoshiti Chotamanobi Ramat Kutama Shloka Ganana Vada. In the Bhagavatam, we find it here. It's meant to also. 14th chapter is very important. Maybe not, no, early in the third chapter, something in the Bhagavatam 10th chapter. I think spoken by Maharaj. How by this essential association with those of Nirvita Krishna. That means they're above. They have no attraction for this material world. They see it for what it is, but they see it as Krishna's energy. They're not attracted to it, even though it's there. It's Krishna's. It's meant for Krishna's pleasure, not mine. They see it like that, never to Krishna. They have everything in affection to the Lord. But we hear or associate with such persons, never to Krishna. When we hear the words from them, then that's acts like Baba Oshi. Baba is this illusion that we're in, this false identity. There's Baba and Baba. This is Baba is a false illusion that we are this body and we're the enjoyers, and so on. Oshadi is the medicine to cure us of this repetitive birth and death. It purifies our hearts, our consciousness becomes purified by hearing the words we sing in the morning. See Guru, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chitete Kodiyakya. Meditate on the words. May the words emanating from your lotus mouth purify my consciousness. The pure devotee's words purify if you hear them. So if you hear from such Nirvita Krishnas, this purifies our consciousness. And one of those words, they're Kutama Shloka Ganana Vada. They're all related to Krishna, they're glorification to Krishna, or words which help us to come to the point of Krishna consciousness, some instructions to guide us so we don't entangle us in this material world even further than we already are. To release us from our bondage, cut that bondage, and then to go with us, Kona Kuri Pitavita. So this Yoga Vyasana, you say karma granted abundance, this bondage, this karma granted abundance. In this world, Chitanti to be cut, and then to go with us, by remembering the personality of Godhead. And that's the business of the devotees, that's the business of the Lord. This is the goal of religion, is to remember the goal of life, to remember the personality of Godhead and not forget Him. Mata, you have to go. Mata, yes, to become Vishnu. Krishna Najati, but the goal of all our activities is to always remember Krishna and never forget him. This is what it's all for, not to accommodate our temporary needs or our mental concepts, but to always remember Krishna. All problems are solved because if we're it's like watching the root of a tree, the whole tree nourished. It's like that. Yavan Ati Dipani Savadaksham. When it knows this point, then everything else is served. All other purposes are served. Like putting a place, taking full shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, taking full shelter of the Holy Name. We still have to act, but we act as Krishna says in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in this consciousness. Otherwise, we'll be lost. Otherwise, we'll be lost. This taking shelter transforms this. From a physical point of view, a material point of view, the false ego becomes transformed into real ego. Where we understand that I am nothing but an instrument of the Lord's will, or for His pleasure. We have our individuality and how we bring pleasure to the Lord, you could say. But this is our essential constitution, to bring pleasure to the Lord. And the reciprocation is there, the Lord therefore then fulfills your real desire. Every living entity wants to be completely happy. Every living entity wants to be completely, out of ignorance. You don't like being in ignorance. You should be in ignorance. Everybody wants to live forever. That can only be fulfilled when we take shelter of the infallible Lord. We take shelter of that. And that's what this Krishna conscious movement for. It's not just to accommodate our material needs. It is rather to release us from having material needs or material attachment. And to fully attach us to Krishna, because this body is going to die. Everything around us is going to pass away. Nothing exists in this world, back to the says, other than the holy name. Spiritually, everything exists, but not in the form of it. But the holy name and the spirit souls, we connect with the soul through the media of the mind, several growths and several bodies. It connects with the Supreme. This is our only good fortune. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And whatever mixed, like Puja Kritikra, had this mixed approach, the mixture can be cleansed. It becomes pure. A devotional service right now is karma mixture or jnana mixture or some other mixture, some mixture, and become purified, completely free. And this process, or this association which the Lord and His representatives have given us. It's up to us whether we want that, or do we want to try to use this opportunity for fulfillment of our material desires, or would we want to use our material facility to satisfy Krishna's desires? We have that choice. That's where the choice lies. Do we want to make this movement a vehicle for my own desires, or do we want to make it a vehicle to fulfill Krishna's desires? That's the only thing that really counts. Everything else is a detail. Dear Prabhupada, please, I'm sorry if my voice is down. The microphone also seems to have ups and downs. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Hare Krishna. Any questions? What's the program today? Excuse me?
They're going to follow all kind of
We're going to Kalaokan. Okay, we're going to what time? At what time are we going to Kalaokan?
the program is 4 p.m. So we have to leave
What time do we leave here?
3 p.m.
3 o'clock? You take lunch here or there? You take lunch here?
1 p.m. is
Oh, you take lunch here, okay. And we're leaving at 3 o'clock for Kalaokan. Pardon?
Adi Guru probably will pick you up to the Maharaj.
He's driving me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Guru fellows coming to drive us to Kalaoka, but then you have other vehicles going, there'll be room for everyone, I think. For those who are not busy with service. Kalaoka. Okay. Sorry?
The drive to Caloocan is around 2 hours.
2 hours. If we leave at 3, we'll get there at 5.
So, what's the time?
Four program.
So if the program is 4, we should be there before 2.
I thought there was a skyway that went very quickly. Is it? Anyway, find out really need for. You haven't got much time. Take all mine if it's that passion. Catching up. Okay, so it looks like we're leaving before 3. All the program's going to be late, which is not unusual.
So double check the Prabhupada.
Yeah, double check. Otherwise, we can all get bicycles. If you want bicycles, it'll be quicker. It's not quick on a bicycle with that. I can go by train. It's a train, isn't it? You go train? I thought they solved all the problems. They make a nice highway, then they increase the number of cars by 10-fold. There's 10 times more cars on the street. What to do?
Yeah. Very good. Nice. Okay, Janananda Goswami.
Huh?
We have
Teaching.
Also.